Okay everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel today. We're back with another setup video. Today we're back with the Ferrari 458 GT3 car set up at Daytona Road. So they have introduced the proper track limits now to this track. Well, I say proper, but you can still be quite aggressive with the limits. But, you know, if you overstep the mark, you're going straight into a brick wall pretty much. So it is a little bit better. I decided to use a car that I've not really seen people using to see if we can get a reasonably okay lap time with it. Now, I think we've managed quite a solid run. We've managed to do a 44.3. Now this car will definitely get into the 1 minute 43s. I think with a bit of effort in time trial, maybe a tiny bit more tweaking to your preference on the setup, but I'm going to show you a very quick base setup to get this car competitive, and you can use it in the race. We started P6 in a very high ranked lobby yesterday, and we managed to finish P5 overall. So the car can work. You might as well give it a go. You might like it. You might like it more than the Audi. I think it's a little bit more stable than the Audi. So yeah, we'll get on with this setup and go through what we have changed. And remember, if you do enjoy these videos, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comment section how you feel about this setup. If you've managed to do a good race time, if you like using the car that's different to other people, let me know in them comments. Okay, so going straight into the setup, we're going to start off very quickly with the left-hand side. So straight away, body ride height. Now we've gone with 58/60. The reason for that is we've actually gone with a slightly narrower gap to try and keep a bit more stability in the braking. I did try 61 to start with on the rear. 57 on the front is a little bit too low. It unsettles a bit on the curb. So 58 seems like a nice ability to get over the curbs on the fast chicane at the end of the lap without getting, you know, a bit unsettled. And 60 on the rear seems to settle that rear down, so it's nice and stable through the fast chicane. Now anti-roll bars, very similar to what I did with the Audi, 6.4, and also with the dampers, I still haven't touched them. We will go into them a little bit further on into the game. I don't want to mess with stuff that I don't really fully understand yet, but I will finally, eventually get round to figuring that all out, and we'll start incorporating the damper settings into these setups. Also, natural frequency down just a small 5 clicks to 3.45 on the front and back, and negative camber on both the front and rear lowered down to 2.2. Now, if you want to get a little bit more speed on the straights, you can obviously lower the cambers down a little bit more. The only thing is it might negatively affect some of the grip through some of the faster corners, so just bear that in mind. Toe angle, we've gone with 0.06 and 0.09. Now, again, I was playing around with these settings, and it was very awkward to tell exactly whether there was much benefit in going so low. But yeah, in the end, I came up with this with the combination of the aero. I think you can go a little bit lower on these to try and get a little bit more straight line speed, but it seemed to compromise some of the traction zones. So just bear that in mind again. With regards to the differential, we've gone quite low on the initial torque to try and get some traction out of the corners, and acceleration sensitivity 25. And again, the braking sensitivity all the way up to 60 with the MR car, because that is just going to make it a little bit more stable during the braking phase into some of these corners at Daytona, specifically turn 1. Again, with aero, we started off with 400, and I think I started off with 570. So for time trial, you can go down to that, but I altered it to 402, 573, just to give a little bit more stability at the rear and a little bit more turning at the front when you've got that full fuel on. So you can try lower on both of them for time trial and have a play of it, see what you think. But I think overall this is a little bit more stable for race pace, having the aerodynamics like that. Now you can add a bit more to the front and a little bit more to the rear if you want a little bit more stability. So what I would do is I would probably go up 2 clicks on the front for every 4 clicks on the rear, just to try and make sure you don't get too much oversteer. You want to try and balance that out between the front and the rear. I wouldn't go like 10 clicks on the rear and 1 click on the front, because you're probably not going to get the same balance on the car. With regards to the ballast, you do need to put some ballast on this car, and obviously you can see it there, 135, minus 15, just a bit towards the front. You might want to go a little bit more if you want a little bit more stability. The further forward you go on that, the more stable the car will be, but the more understeer you will get from the handling, so bear that in mind. With regards to power, you don't need to do anything. This car is exactly 542 horsepower, so you don't need to change it. I have bought the fully customizable gearbox, but I haven't changed the individual gears. All I have done is up the final gear to 300. Should give you reasonably good top speed, and also fuel saving on this car is a little bit better than the Audi. I think it's very similar to the Lamborghini, so this car a little bit stronger in race conditions under fuel saving than the Audi, I would say. Now, I haven't bought anything else for this car. You do not need to buy this. As far as I know, I haven't bought the steering angle adapter or anything like that. No need to buy any sort of turbo. It's just how it is a standard for the power. and you should be good to go. So I'll let you see the lap now that we drove, and I'll try and give you some pointers on that flying lap to see if we can improve your lap time as well. Just a very quick basic guide. So in general, this car does drive pretty similar to the Audi. All right, so you can see I'm on brake bias -2 for this lap, and we're going to go into turn 1, and again you're going to look for the board on the right hand side that does the yellow and blue flags. There's a little black board on the right hand side. You're going to brake just after that board. You can brake quite aggressively, so just after that, down through the gears. You can trying to take a sweeping line into the corner, down to second gear on the apex, on the throttle nice and early, and then power your way out of this corner all the way up into the next braking zone. And again, you're going to brake just in between the two lampposts on the left hand side there, just before the end of the shadow. So it's the two lampposts before the end of the shadow there should give you a nice solid braking reference into that corner. So now we work our way down into the next braking zone. And again, you're going to brake midway on that bit of tarmac on the left-hand side, like we said the other day. You can see the tarmac on the left there, just at the middle point of that. Get on the brakes. Stay quite tight to the apex, I find. It seems to give you a little bit more lap time, maybe a tenth or so. So try and stay close to that apex. On the throttle, again, braking just at the start of the tarmac on the right-hand side there before the curbs. And then be careful on the throttle all the way through it. But what I will say is the Ferrari is a little bit more stable than the Audi. You can see we had a little bit of a moment there, maybe lost a tenth of a second. However, we did manage to keep the power down, and we're now powering our way into the chicane. So they've changed the chicane, so there's no way people can go straight over the chicane now. So looking out for our next braking reference, in between the 1 and the 2 board on the right hand side there, again, is the yellow and blue flag indicator. You're going to see it just there, just lift around there, down to 4th gear. Now as we go over the curb, you can see down to 3rd gear, gets the rotation into the corner, and then power out the corner in 3rd gear. We have a bit of a moment on the exit there that really nearly went on me, possibly losing half a tenth. But like I say, if you really push with this setup, I think it should be able to get 43s. I just did a few laps just for this guide, just to get you the setup guide done before we went live yesterday. So yeah, you can see we go over the line and we've managed a reasonably good lap. You can see the top speed is reasonably good with this car as well, 174 there on the line and a 44.3. So hopefully this setup will help you out. Let me know in the comments if you're using it, if you tried it, what you think of it. I still think the Mazda setup might be a little bit better for the race, but for time trial, I think it's a pretty solid setup for the Ferrari this. So I'm interested to see if anyone can get the Ferrari into the top 10 if you really want to put the effort into doing that. But yeah, thanks again for watching. I'll be back with more videos. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Bye, everyone.